on just a couple more things. Just a couple more things. Actually, really just one, the other one's kind of a review. All right, I got us on page 27. Ready for problem number 2? So we have a polynomial with zeros of 2 and I. And it contains the point -1, 8. All right. Okay. So your job is to write the polynomial function that has those zeros. Who was listening the last time when we talked about imaginary roots? What did we say about imaginary roots? Both the plus and the minus. So if x equals I is one of the roots, x equals -I is automatically another one. All right? Notice it didn't tell us that. We had to know that. Okay? Now, our job is to find the polynomial. So, if I know that x equals 2 is a root, that means if you graphed this, you'd have an intercept of 2. That's what that means. What factor does that correspond to? X minus 2. Very good. Using the same exact logic, what factor does that correspond to? X minus I. And what about this one? X plus I. There you go. So we took the roots, zeros, wrote them as factors, and now we're going to multiply them together. So if you have i's, start there. Always start there. Because they'll cancel. A bunch of stuff will cancel. So here we go. I'm going to FOIL these together. So I have x squared plus ix minus ix minus I squared. What happens to these guys? They cancel. And what happens to minus I squared? Well, I squared is -1, so this would be -1. So that becomes +1. So x squared plus 1. So when you're multiplying these factors, if any of them involve i's, do those first. Okay? No more i's. But you still got to multiply that one times x minus 2. So FOIL again. That's going to be x cubed minus 2x squared plus x minus 2 if I FOILed correctly. Okay? So now I'm this far. Now I am done, except there could be a multiplier on this problem. Now how do I know that? Well, if all I have are the roots, do I know whether this cube is looking like this or like this? Do I know that? No, I can't tell that without the picture. So, luckily for me, they gave me a, see this guy right here? Guess what I'm going to do with him? I am going to take the -1 and put it in for all the x's, and I'm going to take the 8 and put it in for the y. So I'm gonna have 8 equals A times, all right, what is negative 1 cubed? Negative 1. Now watch, be careful with this one. Negative 1 squared, but it's times the negative 2, so that one's gonna stay negative, would you agree? And then minus 1 minus 2. So all of that works out to be negative 6. So A is negative 4/3, 8 over 6, 4 over 3. And this is the answer to the problem. Okay? All right with that? There's one more like that. This one's going to be the same thing, but it's going to involve a little bit more arithmetic. Zeros are 1 and 1 plus 2i. And it contains negative 1. Okay, what do you want to do?
It'd be x equals 1 minus 1.
We also have 1 minus 2i. Remember, imaginary roots always come with a conjugate. So 1 plus 2i comes with 1 minus 2i.
X minus 1 for me.
Okay? Now, write the factors. We automatically know, because we've done a lot of these, this factor is x minus 1. Now you gotta do factors for these guys too. Any idea what the factor for this is? Now think about what you did here. You did minus 1. So what do you think this is gonna be? X minus 1 minus 2i. Beautiful, that's exactly right. And this one's gonna be x, no, x minus 1 plus 2i. Because you're moving it over. Now, I told you, this says multiply out, we gotta multiply this out. I told you to always do the I ones first, so it's gonna be really big, but it's gonna pay off because all that I stuff is gonna cancel out. All right, so here we go. You do it your own system, I'll tell you how I do it. I take this, x, times boom, boom, boom. And then I take negative 1, boom, boom, boom. And then negative 2i, boom, boom, boom. There are 9 multiplications. All of these 3 need to be times by all of these 3. Order has nothing to do with it. You just gotta make sure you get all 9. So, I'm gonna have x squared minus x plus 2ix. So I took this times all 3. Now I'm going to have negative x plus 1 minus 2i. Negative 2ix plus 2i minus 4i squared. That is not hard, but it's easy to make a mistake. Hopefully I haven't made any. Now, what should happen after you get everything times out? Everything with an I should cancel. So does this cancel 2ix? Yep. Does this cancel? Yep. And what about that? What is negative 4i squared? Plus 4. Why? So x squared minus 2x plus 5. Is that okay? And then you get to multiply. multiply that times your x minus 1. And again, you do this in whatever way seems organized to you. You just gotta make sure these get multiplied by those. All right, so what have I got? X cubed minus 3x squared plus 7x minus 5. Did I do that okay? Does that, anybody match that?
Yes.
So basically that's the answer. The only thing I don't know is what's my multiplier? What is that thing that's gonna turn me upside down or stretch me or shrink me? I need to know what that multiplier is. So luckily they gave me a point. So I'll put 4 in for y. All right, negative 1 cubed. Negative 1. This is going to be negative 3 because the negative 1 is going to square out. Minus 7 minus 5. This is tedious, I know. It's a bad thing to be doing right before we leave for break, but it is what it is. What do we get? Negative 16? 4, yeah. So it looks like my coefficient is negative 1/4, 4 over 16. And the answer to the question then is right here. Now you'll want to pay real close attention because sometimes, like right here, it says multiply out. But there are times when we don't multiply it all out, so read the directions so you don't use unnecessary work. All right, anybody have a question about that before we move on to problem 3? All right, find all the zeros. This is review. Now, you might see that combination of numbers and think about factoring, but you can't because that's a cube. So that's not going to work. What are we going to do? This is review. You know this. We're going to use synthetic division. In other words, we're going to guess a number. And the numbers we're going to guess are our PRRs, which are, these are easy, factors of 5. So pick one. What do you want to pick? 5. Oh. Be careful. When you do synthetic division, every exponent needs to be accounted for. So did you notice there's no squared in this problem? So when I set up my division, I have to put a 0 in there. Guys, it's not going to work if you don't. You have to put that 0 in there. The answer will be wrong without it. So, does everyone understand why there's a 0 in that spot particularly? Okay, here we go. Drop it straight down. Uh-oh. This is not feeling good, right? 1. Miles says, let's try 1. I'm lucky I can just erase. You can just write it down underneath there. We'll try 1. Oh, that looks better. So what was I doing? Finding all the zeros. So one of our zeros is 1. 1. Now what? Where do I go from here? Think it back yesterday or the day before? What do we do now? What's our depressed polynomial? What is this guy? X squared plus x plus 5? Now, when we did these the other day, that factored. That doesn't factor. So what do? I'm trying to find my zeros. Quadratic formula. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Ooh, I'm gonna get imaginary numbers. That's okay. That's okay. Did you get negative 1 plus or minus I root 19 over 2? Does that look okay, everybody? Anybody have a problem with that? Oh, all in your head's not even up. You're just nodding the nod.
No, I saw it. I just didn't.
Well, let's not put our head down. So x equals 1 and x equals that are my answers to the problem. How many answers are there? 3. That is exactly what we expected. 2 of them are imaginary. 1 of them is real. All right. We're gonna do the same thing quick. You know what I mean? This is fun. You could be in some boarding class right now.
Literally.
Yeah, literally, you could be, but you're not. Right, Jimmy?
Not at all.
Okay, this looks terrible. Would you agree it isn't going to factor by losing? What are our PRRs? Plus or minus 169, not 2, 3 and 23? I think that's it.
That's all I'm saying.
So let's not do 69 and 23. Let's try the other ones first. How about 3? Do you think 3 works? Seems promising. Let's see. Yay, it does. So, one of my roots is x equals 3. Finish this one, do one more, and I'll stop, okay? But hang with me. What do I do now? My polynomial now I'm going to solve is x squared minus 7x plus 23, which isn't going to factor. So we can either complete the square or use the quadratic formula. I'll use the formula. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. We can use our calculator if we need to. I shouldn't need to, but what the heck. I got negative 33. So we'll pull that I out. And what goes in the answer blank? Those 2 and the 3 that we got in the beginning. Everybody got that down, okay? One more, here we go. Okay, factoring this by grouping is not going to work. So we gotta do some division. So Michael, what are our guesses gonna be? What are our possibilities, our PRRs? One, two, three, six. Somebody help him. How do we find our PRRs?
1, 2,
1, 2, 3, 6.
Factors of
Oh, yeah, so
Six.
what was that,
over factors of
the
the leading coefficient. Alright, so Royce, pick one for us.
-3.
-3. Are there no powers are missing? Always take a second to check that. Oh.
Nope.
Unless I made a mistake, this doesn't seem to be going right. Alright, how about +3?
I was just gonna say that.
A lot of times I'll do that, I'll guess the number, and if the negative doesn't work, I'll try the positive or vice versa. And sometimes that doesn't work either.
Nope.
I don't think it's 3. Okay. Anybody have another guess?
2.
2?
Oh,
Negative
two,
2.
it feels good. Two.
I think negative 2.
-2? 2?
We can do positive 2.
2?
-1.
I like negative 1.
Somebody said 2 and -2, and I just went with 2. We'll try -2. This is getting kind of crazy here. Okay, now I'm out of room, so what am I trying now?
-1.
-1? There we go. There's one. So I'm solving, so one of my answers is -1. Perfect. All right? What happens now? Let's see what's left. X cubed, remember the original was a 4, plus 5x minus 6. Now wait a minute, you guys. You aren't gonna use the quadratic formula on that. Guess what? We get to guess again. We're gonna guess again.
Yeah, so.
Now, any of the numbers that didn't work before won't work now. So don't guess anything you already guessed. However, -1 could work again. So I am gonna try -1 again. Because if a number works, it can work more than once. So let's see, does it work again?
Yep.
No, that doesn't work.
Oh, it does.
I'm just making sure I'm doing the math right, but I am, it
Oh,
doesn't.
yeah.
So what do you wanna try now? I can't remember what I've already tried.
2.
You've tried -2 and 2 and -3 and 3.
Do 1.
Did you try regular one?
We have +1, 6,
I
and
think-
-6.
We
Should I
should.
try 1 yet?
No.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So 1 worked. Okay. Notice when I did that division, I had to put a 0 in, right? Okay, now, where do I go from here? What's left is
X squared.
x squared
Plus X.
plus x plus 6, which does not factor. You might try to, but it's plus plus, so it won't factor. So once again,
Say that.
negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2. Negative 23. So my answers are those two, and 1 and negative 1. 4 answers because this was a 4th degree. Basically, we just gotta keep guessing and dividing till we get it down to a quadratic. Then we can solve it. Okay, so 2.6 is due on Tuesday. Not 2.6, 2.5. 2.5 is due on Tuesday.
On 2.4.
2.4 was due Monday, wasn't
Is the next
it? Was due
one.
Monday, yeah, is due Monday. So you might as well get both those cranked out, over your break. Our first day back, which is not Monday, it will be Tuesday, we will start reviewing. And we'll have a test over 2125 sometime next week. All right, probably review 2 days, be my guess, and then take a test over 2125. Okay?